a boss. What the fuck I look like?
So
And what I
instead of
also
saying that
tell
they'll
black
never
women,
get
if you're going to
married,
go get you an African man from the continent, you're going to have to understand that the way in which you talk to black men in America will not be tolerated over there.
Why the
It
fuck
isn't
is it tolerated? It's not
here.
tolerated here. That's what we're trying to tell them.
Well, over here, I want to say this to us, though, because we try to act like the way sisters treat us doesn't have a history that we are not at least partly responsible for. Let's be honest. The black woman has had to hold down the black house by herself, although imperfectly.
All right, you know, I don't even want to fucking hear this bullshit. So, why am I even bringing this shit up? We're always talking about like the black community and what the black man need to do. Every day I fucking wake up and check my Facebook. This shit right here, this fucking video is getting posted all over the damn place. And then you have, and we don't even bring this up. I was listening to the Angry Man podcast when we were talking about the situation I spoke about in the previous video. And I was telling, you know, people, you need to just keep your mouth shut because you don't know who the fuck you're talking to, and somebody could be like that guy with the dreads and haul off and just hit your ass for disrespecting them. But we were discussing that topic, not he. And something that caught me off guard was when he was bringing up, you know, the men, you know, stop fucking, you know, these single mothers. Okay, you know, I mean, a bunch of dudes ain't just out here smashing and dashing single mothers. But fine, you know, you stop fucking these single mothers. Okay, you'll help yourself out, but they're going to just go and get it from somewhere else. So how is that helping the black community aside from, you know, you not being responsible for potentially making more babies? But I'm gonna get into that shit later. But then he said if you was real leaders, you know, if y'all was leaders, we, you know, the community or all this, it wouldn't be looking the way it is, right? I'm paraphrasing. And I had to stop and really think. Coming from like just the manosphere and the red pill and everything else, when we really discussed this shit, we discussed how in the 80s, was it the 80s? Was it before then? I don't remember off the top of my head. All I know is the details where the black woman traded the black man in for fucking welfare checks and shit. The whole I don't need a man and the Pookie Ray Ray activity and how men are boiled down to just finances and shit. It all started with that shit. That's when the whole, you know, family structure and black homes began to just dissipate. Shit wasn't running the way it was supposed to. And then there were several other things, but then you also had, you know, the feminist movement and all this shit, where it's really, really putting a bunch of dents in just family structure. You fast forward to nowadays. First things first, all the bullshit going on in the black community now was going on when I was a kid. It was going on before then. Bitches was running game on dudes for the longest. My question is, how in the fuck is it that the men get all the accountability, but the women don't? At all. Even though I could talk about a bunch of shit that's destroying the community, that's all at the hands of black women, but we don't want to talk about that. If I say something, it's how dare you say something. You can't tell them nothing. You try to say something that's, you know, going to help them, you know, save their life, and what do you get? They tell you to go fuck yourself, and they do it with their chest. It's the black man's fault, though. It's always our fault. They ran out the men. They run the men out the house, right? Either that or they just pick bad dudes in the first place. Because a bunch of these women are having kids by like a small percentage of the black men, while the rest of the black men don't even fucking have wives or kids. They are maidenless and childless. But we're all single. We're all fucking deadbeat dads, though. Even though the couple of the dads that, you know, actually do give a shit are actually the most involved fathers. And it's more of them than the Pookies and Ray Rays. And I already discussed this in the past. You know, these chicks will get these broke dudes, right, who don't want to have kids, and instead of like first things first, they get a thrill off controlling these men. These men can't say nothing back to them. They ain't got no money. They love that shit. They're in control. They can feel like they wear the pants for once. But then, you know, dudes are like, I don't want to, you know, have a kid. They just want to fuck around. That's all they want to do. And instead of taking a plan B or making him wear a condom or just not giving him access at all, or, you know, doing birth control or anything, they just carry the child full term because they think that that's what's going to keep the guy around. There's a lot of babies that are born not because the child was wanted, but because this vindictive bitch didn't want to be safe and thought that she could, you know, control this dude or use her pussy to change this man. Like, that shit's going on. Like, you see how they pick men. All good brothers. There's too many good men I know that are either in the friend zone or they get picked up like after she had all her fun. Like, she you know, went out, got slutted out, did all that shit. Completely fine, right? We could talk about how 80% of the divorces are done by the women, initiated by women. Not because of cheating or abuse, but because of bullshit like finances. You know what I'm saying? She got a promotion at her job and thought that she didn't need the man anymore, which is behavior that reflects the past where they traded their man in for food stamps. You need to be leaders. You can't lead somebody. You can't lead people that don't want to be led. The children are just a reflection of this type of woman, right? And they just repeat the same mistake. The little girls are literally being taught to be sluts. They glorify the shit in their music too. I came across a video song was Pound Town. Pussy pink, booty hole brown, that bullshit. That is the slut anthem. And guess who's bumping that shit? Right? And for the record, I'm not talking about all black women, okay? There are those that actually are good women, right? Y'all ain't saying shit about it though. I'm not hearing too many women speak out against all this nonsense. Okay, and in fact, whenever I see videos like this, for example, where he's just blaming all the black men of today for issues that didn't happen, that was happening before us. You blaming me for 94 Freaknik? Like, you blaming me for all the, you know what I'm saying? Like, the same shit that men are dealing with now with their women was going on in the past. The grandmother's been teaching the daughters, and they've been teaching their daughters how to use, manipulate, and pimp men out. But we're talking about men being the problem in the community. And it's like, well, why are you always talking about the women? Because their actions are literally bringing about a ripple effect. You're raising weak sons because you pushed the father out the house. You're raising slut daughters because you pushed the father out the house. You don't need the dad in the house. The family structure is broken up. You're raising these dysfunctional ass kids. Some of these babies are affected, you know, because the mother was drinking and partying and shit while pregnant. And these babies come out deformed and mentally challenged. Just saying. Some of them. And it's like, bro, what the fuck is going on here, right? Keep in mind that the good men that would have been good dads and good leaders in the community, childless, mateless. They're not being picked. Why do you think this whole passport bro shit is a thing? Say what you want about me, but anybody who's like paying attention to the ratchetness and bullshit that's going on here, you're gonna be able to pinpoint everything. Like, really pay attention. And this ain't a I hate women speech. No, I don't hate women. In fact, this shit makes me sad. Okay? It really does. And then the dudes that do step up to be dads get treated like dog shit. Or the mother will tell them that they don't want him saying nothing to their children or trying to teach their children or sway their children to a way that's different from the viewpoint of the mother. It's like, what the fuck do you want men to do? Okay? Men are giving up. That's what's going on. Okay? If I can go online and pull up numerous videos of bitches talking about how they want thugs and they want, dudes that essentially ain't shit, or a man that they can, because they want Pookie because they can control Pookie. Let's just be real. They can control Pookie and he lay pipe. That's why they want him. Okay? They ain't looking for him to be a provider. But reckless sex produces children. But what else can we even fucking bring up on this shit? Like the point I'm getting at is stop blaming me, 'cause I'm black. I'm a black man. Stop blaming me and other men for this type of bullshit. If a small percentage of the men are having the majority of the children, okay, by these bitches, right, who don't know how to pick the right men, and it's causing this ripple effect, what the fuck are the outside guys supposed to do? This man right here was promoting be single mothers and all this shit. Huh? And not single mothers, single fathers. Oh, teach the youth. The youth ain't gonna listen to us. I'm not a street nigga, so how am I going to reach street niggas if I don't even understand that lifestyle, right? Tell them what's right and what's wrong, but they carry the mentality of their mother, the you can't tell me shit mentality. What else are you dudes supposed to do? And then for this shit to be promoted, just absolving all the women of all accountability. It's all just the men. All of it. Even though they don't want to listen to us or anything that we have to say, it's all just the fucking men. You got bitches telling the young girls from in our community that it's okay to strip if you need to. Right? But once again, you tell a chick, hey, stop stripping, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop doing the OnlyFans, all that. They argue back with you. Okay, men dealing with combative, argumentative women has been going on since the days of Solomon. How in the world is this our fault or our responsibility? Because in the end of the day, people are going to do what the fuck they want to do. Say I'm in my emotions for bringing this up, but this shit needs to be brought up. Like, what the fuck else are we gonna say? Like, listen to this.
She's had to do it by herself since the mass incarceration of black males began in the 1970s.
Had to do it by herself since the mass incarceration of black males, but then she turned around and fucking traded her man for some welfare checks. Like, still had families back then. She gave that up, and then with that feminism bull, she wanted to be independent. She didn't want to be under her man. She didn't want to be subservient to her man. You tell a bitch to be submissive nowadays, just look at the reaction. I'll just say that.
So when his sister says, I don't need a man, because she couldn't find one strong enough to hold her down.
Which is bullshit. She wasn't looking for one strong enough. That's too much accountability on herself. She would have to level up to match his speed. She didn't want to do that shit. Once again, I'm not talking about all black women. Because every time we bring this shit up, It's always somebody. Why is it always that? No, stop. Okay, stop. I see more men getting on dudes over shit that they have no control over than anything. Like, and this ain't no algorithm shit either. This is what's like, it's everywhere. Like, fucking, this is like the 5th time I've seen this clip today. This is a whole different channel. I'm not even subscribed to this shit. See, and then we got, you have to be accountable because they have a poor selection. That went over a lot of black men's heads. I've seen many women who had children, not for thugs, but the good guy that still abandon their child in the end. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. How much you want to bet she ran that man off? Either that or the dude said he didn't want any fucking kids and she decided to have the baby anyway. There's a lot of steps to having a fucking child. Why'd you give him access if you knew he didn't want a dad? If you knew he didn't want to be a dad? Why'd you open your legs for the nigga? Why didn't you make him wear a condom? If you really wanted the sex that bad. If you wanted him to go in raw that damn bad, you could have at least took some fucking plan B or something. Didn't do that shit. I'm talking about modern day shit, okay? We're talking about today's times. We're not talking about back then. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of women tried to avoid the street guys, still ended up left with children. They thought, you know, that's not what the statistics say. That's not what the statistics say. I'm not coming up with this shit out my ass. I'm not just out here just talking bullshit. And he left them. Men do not divorce women on average. It's very, very rare that this happens. Only about 15% of divorces are filed by men. Thank you. Like, shit. And you had to be accountable because they have a poor selection. That part, and that's the shit I'm talking about. They have a poor selection. So you just selected anyway and just decided to get pregnant, or you was just out fucking around? Say it again for the people in the back. You know what the dudes are doing nowadays because of our poor selection? We're getting our fucking passports. No kids. Trying to find a way to get families elsewhere. But that's not what I'm seeing these women do. That's not. Yeah. And I'm just gonna be honest here. Okay. The bitches who be complaining about good men got a whole bunch of motherfucking dudes that are actually good men in their friend zone. Okay. That's a whole another fucking issue. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to, you know, all this shit, oh, you're having a poor selection. Who's raising these motherfuckers? If the dads ain't in the home, who's raising them? You're creating the men that you don't like. And then the cycle continues. Keep blaming the men though. Keep blaming them. Because when the good dude does come in and tries to bring order in the house, you disrespect the fuck out of him. Dudes that's pumping and dumping is actually a small number, but whatever. So how many more times do I have to keep fucking seeing this video? How many more times do I have to hear other men blame me and other men who don't have kids, all right, and ain't out here just fucking around for the bullshit that's going on in the urban black community. Sick of this shit. All right. I could go on further, but I'm tired. I'm supposed to be going to bed because I have a job. You know, I seen bitches say that black men don't have jobs. Ain't that fucked up?